G'day, Tragic here, and welcome to the second quest in the Hobbit Saga. This is Over the Misty Mountains Grim. This is a very unusual quest. Basically, it's two completely separate quests. We have the period in the books where he's going over Bilbo's going over the mountains with Thorin and everybody, and they find those gigantic hill giants who are playing that game of catch. So in the movie, they're like fighting each other and being all aggressive, but in the book, they're just unaware of anyone else's presence because they're so ginormous. They're actually just playing a friendly game in the books. And then after we have to sneak past them, we then have to go into the caves, and that's where we meet the Goblin King, or whatever his name is, the big goblin guy. What's unusual about this quest to most of the game, of the history of the game, is that these quests are in one, and they're basically two completely separate quests. We have the mountains, and then we have the Goblin Caves. And when we enter into quest 3B or 3A or whatever, we actually discard the entire mountain quest deck, encounter deck. We lose anything in the staging area, we lose anything engaged with us, we lose the travel locations because we are exiting the mountains and going into the Goblin Caves. And that's really handy because the big problem with this quest for solo gamers is that the hill giants are like full threat in the staging area. Unless you've got heroes that have really high questing power, like 4 or 3, it can be quite slow to start. So it can be quite difficult, those opening steps for solo. We've got to get past these giants. But the plus side is once we do get past them and we get to the next stage of the quest, they're discarded. We don't actually have to deal with them in combat, which is pretty cool. The goblin side is a whole different story, and I won't go into that. We'll talk about that when it actually happens. But it's basically two completely separate quests. We've got the going over the mountains and going into the caves. The way the rules for the saga boxes in the Hobbits work is that you're allowed to change your deck between quests, but you can't change your heroes. I mean, you can change your heroes, but if you do that, you lose your treasure cards. So this is a completely different deck to the last one. It's a deck designed for this quest, but it uses the same heroes. So that's why I haven't switched to higher questing power heroes. Now, the key to this deck is Feint and Snare. Now, in the Nightmare version, which is a much better version of this quest, you can't use Snare, but we can use it in this one, so we're gonna. And we can basically snare the troll, and later we can snare the Goblin King, and that really makes the quest quite easy. But we have 53 cards in our deck, remember, because we've got the 3 treasures. So we've got to draw at least Snare early, preferably Snare and Feint early. And if we don't, it's a bit of a hassle. The plus side is there's this card in this quest called Overhanging Rock. And what this one does is it allows us to basically draw our entire deck into our hand. It's a hugely powerful card, particularly in solo. So when we go into the Goblin Cave, we get confronted by the Goblin Army, and you draw all these Goblin cards. And you can spend resources on Bilbo to reduce this amount of cards, right? So you draw 3 cards per player. That means 3 cards get drawn. But if you can spend resources of Bilbo to reduce that by 1 for each resource, right? But you can only do it to a minimum of 1, which means you can only reduce it a maximum of 2, which means we only need 2 resources on Bilbo going into the next stage. So every other resource on him above 2, we can spend on Overhanging Rock to draw cards. So it's not unusual to draw like 10 cards into your hand off Overhanging Rock. That's really the key to this quest, is to be able to deal with the hill troll early and then get Overhanging Rock and just draw your hand. And the longer it takes you to get Overhanging Rock, the more likely this quest is to fail with this particular deck. So that's the way you run it. Let's see how it goes, shall we? Oh, it should be noted that my microphone is still in the shop. So I'm trying my best to make the mic sound. I'm using my Yeti desk mic at the moment, so this sounds pretty good. But when we switch to the camera, it might sound a bit off. And hopefully I'll get my mic back from Rode soon, and then everything will be cool. And let's get into this. So we had a really bad hand draw, and we had a really bad second draw. So we basically got none of the stuff we wanted. We do have some card draws, so we might luck out, and we do have questing power, which is important, but we don't have any of our key cards. We don't have snare, we don't have feint, so it's going to be a very rough start. So let's get into this straight away, starting with a short rest. So short rest 1A just basically tells you how to do the setup, and I went through that during the introduction. Now, the second bit says it's 0 cost, right? So it doesn't actually cost any quest points to get past this, it's 0. After a refreshing stay in the House of Elrond, Bilbo and his companions resumed their quest for the Lonely Mountain. But to reach Erebor, they first must climb the high pass over the Misty Mountains. Each player may search his deck for one treasure card and add it to his hand, then shuffle his deck. Then advance to stage 2A. So this is already complete. So that was end of that. So what we're going to do, we're going to look through our deck, and I'll just see, it'll be interesting to, oh, wow. That's the card I'm looking for. I just halved the deck, and that's the card I'm looking for. So that's Sting, that's the one we want. So put that in our hand, and I'll just have a see what, oh look, the very next card we were going to draw is Snare. That is so upsetting, because now we have to shuffle our deck. So Sting is an interesting card. Basically, it has a really powerful ability that we won't see until the second stage, like the second phase of this quest when we're fighting the goblins. But why we fetch it first is because it has +1 questing power, +1 will. So that turns Bilbo into a 2 quest instead of a 1 quest, which is actually a pretty big deal, particularly if we have a slow start like we're most likely going to have, because we don't have feint or snare in our opening hand. We do have, the ruin, like, the draw 2 cards, card draw thing. So hopefully that'll help us. Okay. One more, and then a cut. Okay, so that's that. So we have 2 of our treasures in the opening hand. Right, so let's go to 2A. Which says, the mountain pass. When he peeped out in the lightning flashes, he saw that across the valley the stone giants were out and were hurling rocks at one another for a game, and catching them and tossing them down into the darkness where they smashed among the trees far below, or splintered into little bits with a bang. So this is 16 to pass. When revealed, search the encounter deck for 1 copy of Stone Giant and add it to the staging area, then shuffle the encounter deck and reveal 1 card per player and add it to the staging area. So this is 16 to pass. Now we've already got a Stone Giant in the staging area. So let's bring up the next card. It is a Dreary Hills. Okay, so that is 3. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7 in the staging area right now. So the first thing we're going to do is cast these 2. So Sting and Gladdering they're both 0 cost, so that's fine. So we'll put Sting on Bilbo, he's now questing for 2, and we'll put Gladdering on Ori. So I'm just going to switch these around. I always play with the heroes in the same position, and every time I don't set them up in the correct positions, I kind of accidentally take resources off the wrong heroes. Okay. So we're ready to start. First thing we're going to do is cast Dwarven Runes, which allows us to draw 2 cards. So let's go 1, 2. There is Feint.
So what I'm going to do is I am going to throw out the Spearman. Keep faint, and then I'm going to cast the next rune, which I just drew. 1, 2, and there's another faint. And I'm going to have to keep that faint, so I'm going to have to throw this card out, unfortunately. This is a fantastic card. Basically, it deals 2 damage to whoever's in the staging area when it's drawn. Great for solo play. Combined with Thalen, that's 3 damage as it comes out. Cancels when revealed, cancels surges. Awesome card. But unfortunately, faint is a little more important. So we do have 2 faints, which is good. And we do not have a 1-drop, which is bad. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to quest with 1, 2, 3. Oh, you know, I can do it with the numbers. So request with 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's draw the next card. Yoink! Okay, so this is a high pass. Now, the high pass has 1 extra threat in it, and it has a really annoying ability. Listen to this. X is the number of players in the game. Forced. At the end of the round, remove X progress tokens from the current quest. The thing is, this is 5 to pass, so it's really hard to get past. Now, it's only 1 in the staging area in a soloing game, but it just means we're going to lose a quest point every time. But because we're only questing for 5 at this early stage, I just don't want to actually get stuck on this card. It's very easy to get stuck on this card, because if you're only placing 1 or 2 progress tokens on a 5 land, you're actually only placing 1 in this case. So it's very, very nasty. So that's 1 threat. Okay, so what we're going to do, so we're questing for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're questing for 5. That means probably helps if I put out my starting threat, which is 24. Okay, so we're questing for 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the staging area. That means we have a +3. So we start at 4 and we're +3, which makes this a 5 and makes this a 2. So we're going to travel to this location, and we're going to have this attack us. So it gets a shadow card. We're going to spend 1 resource and faint. That gets discarded. And now it's the next turn. So this goes to 3. This goes to 2. This goes to 2. We get 1 back, and this goes to 2. And we draw a card. Yoink. Okay. So I'm going to spend 1 resource from you and put out a vassal. I'm also going to spend 2 resources from you and put out a quester. And that's it. So I'm going to quest with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out comes a card. It is a crow. So it's really upsetting that we didn't travel there. So this is a crow. It means it's automatically killed by Phelan because it's only got 1 health. So we're questing for 7. There's only 1 in the staging area, so that is 6. So it is 2 to pass here, and then another 4. Now we really don't want to quest too fast. This does have a really annoying ability. After we place 1 or more tokens, we have to discard a card from random. So we'll just... Now all the cards in our hand are good at the moment. So as long as we don't discard Aowen or Faint, I'll be happy. Which one? Which one? So let's go this one here. Yonk. Oh, Faint. Excellent. Okay, so this guy attacks. He gets a card. It says the defending character gets -1 defense. Doesn't matter. This guy's killed. And that's the next turn. So this goes to 3. This goes to 1. This goes to 1. This goes to 3. This goes to 4. I'm going to travel to here now as well. Okay, let's draw a card. Yonk. Okay, so we're going to spend 2 off here. Put out our Hammersmith. I do not think we have any. We don't have any attachments, so that's fine. And we're questing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out comes a card. Oh wait, and we just put down 4, and remember this takes 1 off, so this is 3 actually. Okay, so this one comes out. Except I'm drawing off the wrong deck. I don't know why I put that over there. I remember because I kept leaning, I keep leaning over the thing. The deck over here. My arm's out of the shot a bit more. Okay, so this one is no campfire. Basically, it's doomed 1 to start with. And then it has surge. So we can either take 4 threat, or we can draw another card. Now, if I tap with Eleanor to cancel it, we still have to draw a card, so it doesn't make a difference, and we still get doomed. So next card comes out. The first player chooses a questing character. That character takes 3 damage. We're going to tap Eleanor and cancel that. Out comes the next card. And this one says, discard all non-treasure cards in play. We only have treasure cards in play, so nothing happens. We're questing for 7. There's 5, 6, 7. That takes this to 5. And we get rid of this annoying location. So we're questing well, but we're just, unfortunately, we have to deal with this guy. So out comes a card. It says, put this card on the top of the encounter deck. So this is another one of these 3 damage ones. So I'll just put it on top of the encounter deck. This guy is killed. And that is that. So 2, 2, 2, 4, draw a card. Snare, please. No, it's another feint. That's still pretty good. Okay, so we're going to spend 2 and 2, put out a chump, and put out another quester. And we are going to quest with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're only going to quest with 5 this time. She has this ability where she puts a plus defense on someone whenever she taps on another character, and that's always going to go to Bilbo for the rest of the game. Doesn't make any difference in the early stages. Okay, so we're questing for 5. Out comes this card, and I'm going to tap Eleanor to cancel it. Out comes the next one, and it's the same card. Now we can survive one of these. I forgot to bring out damage tokens. So he gets 3 damage, and he's removed from the quest. Okay. So we can only survive one of them. It's very rare to get 2 in a row. I mean, to get hit by that more than once, I've found. So whatever. The point is we have 4 in the staging area. There's nothing coming out. So that is another 4 progress. Remember, we've only got 16, so we're doing very badly here. Out comes another card. It's still not there's 3 hill trolls, 3 giants, and we haven't discarded any of them yet. It's got no shadow effect. He's killed. So we haven't got any. Yeah, so it's not good. Okay, so he gets a card. He gets a resource. She gets a resource. He gets a resource. Do I give him a resource? So I put out, yeah, so I think he's at 3. And we have another threat. and we draw a card. Yoink. Okay, so I'm going to spend 1, do standard fight, and pull out another chump. And I'm going to quest with 3. We've got to slow down. Out comes the next card. It is a Lone Lands. That's 2 in the staging area. So we actually get 1 over here. Okay, this guy attacks. We travel there, obviously. This guy attacks. It says the defending player raises threat by 2. This guy's killed. And we are not doing well. Okay, so this goes to 4. This goes to 2. I'm wondering if I gave him an extra resource. I think I'll just put it at 3 just in case. And draw the next card. Yonk. Okay, so we have a Gandalf. Man, we are not doing well. So we're questing for 3 again. How much is here? This is 3 to pass actually. So we're questing with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That comes the next card. It's a cave entrance. This is 1. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's another 4. And we are almost lost this game if we don't. This has an ability where you lose a resource but gain a resource when it's cleared. So we just take it and place it on Bilbo. It cancels out. Now this does have an ability, but it's only when it's not the active location. So it just stays there. Okay, so this card comes out. Now this is the card we want. That's really upsetting. Overhanging Rock. You'll see that in action eventually, hopefully. This guy's killed. Okay, let's go to 4. This is a very, very, very unlucky start. Unusual too. We're over questing and we're not getting any of our cards that we want. Yonk. Ah, finally got a snare. That's good. So what we're going to do, we'll put 3 on here. 3 on here. The thing is, a hill troll's about to come out for sure. So I'm just going to quest for 1. Out comes a card. How much is this? This is 3. Yeah, so I'm going to quest for 2. So that's 1, 2, 3. Out comes a card. It's a hill troll. So that is +1 threat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn it. So 35 already. These guys attack at 40. Okay, so this guy gets a card. It's discarded. It's the next turn. So this goes to 2. This goes to 4. This goes to 3. And this goes to 3. And this goes +1. So we've got only a couple of turns left. So that's 10, 20, 30, 5. And there's no threat reduction in this deck because we basically never need it usually. Right, let's draw a card. Yonk. Okay, so we're going to spend 2 off you. Put out you. We're going to spend 2. 2, so requesting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is 4 in the staging area. Going to leave him up there for a while. Come on, overhanging pass. Damn it. It's a Drury Heals again. 4, 5, 6, 7. We're requesting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's no change. And now we're in a bit of trouble. Okay, so this guy comes out. Oh, finally we get rid of the other hill troll at least. So that's 1 bit of good luck. 3, 3, 4, 4. This goes to 2. Oh man, come on, Mathan, finally something good. So we'll spend 1 off you. We'll put out the Mathan. The problem is we can't quest past. So we are questing a max of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 4, 5, 6, 7 in the staging area. So we're kind of screwed. But I do have Gandalf. Oh man, I've got to hold my hands further out. I haven't been able to see my hand the whole time. So I do have Gandalf. So that is, I'm going to spend 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to place out Gandalf. He's questing for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Out comes a card. It is the hill. It is. This is really annoying. So this one says, Guffawing Giants. When revealed, the first player chooses 1 stone giant in the staging area, and it forces us to engage it at the end of the quest phase. We're going to cancel that with Eleanor. Oh, finally! Woo! It is overhanging rock. Bam. So that is a 2 to pass, right? So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're questing for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 9, 10, 11 actually kills this in one. Oh, it doesn't kill it. Oh no, it doesn't kill it. That's 2 to pass. That's 3 to pass. Oh, that's so upsetting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, that's so upsetting. Oh man, we are just in absolute horror show here. That goes to 2. This goes to 2. This goes to 5, and this goes to 3. And we're going to spend another 2. So we're at 40, which means this guy is going to attack us this turn. So let's grab another card. It's another Mathan. We're going to spend 1 off that, put out another Mathan. And we're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Be a crow. Yes! So crow's automatically killed by Thalen. We know that that's +2. So we get 1 and then 2. So we need 1 more to pass this. Okay, so we might be able to pull this off. So this is destroyed. We get 2 Mathans, which means we draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We finally get some questers. Okay. And now we are going to quest to here. And now that we have this thing as the main card, what it says is, while Overhanging Rock is the active location, it gains the action, spend 1 resource to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 of those to your hand and discard the other. So now it's the next turn.
Bit of a mistake here. I actually made this a little harder on myself than I needed to. Basically, we're at 40 threat, so the hill giant would have attacked us. Now, the hill giant has an ability that says as it engages, it sacks a character. So I would have sacked the veteran axe hand, and then I would have blocked with Gandalf, who doesn't untap to quest. He can block him fine and just take 2 damage. 3 damage if there's a -1 defense. The point is Gandalf would survive. And it would actually make my life easier because I wouldn't have to quest so hard in the next round because I wouldn't have to beat that 4th threat. So that was a huge blunder, but it doesn't actually affect the game state, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, basically. Let's move on. But yeah, he should be engaged with me, is what I'm saying.
We get 1 threat. This goes to +1. This goes to 2. This goes to 3. And this goes to 4. Now, oh wait, and we get a card which is discarded by that thing. Now, I'm going to put the 2 extra threat to keep him as well. So we're at 10, 20, 30, 43. So we're in the end game now, baby. But this is our active location, which is 3 to pass, right? So this is 3 to pass. But it has that ability. Now we need to keep 2 resources, so we're going to spend 9 resources off this guy. And we draw 1, 2. I'm going to keep Hemmermarth. One, 2. We're going to keep her. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't really need this, do we? 8. 9. So these are all discarded. And these all go into our hand. And as you can see, so this is why we wanted this card so far ago. Because if we got this card earlier, we would have basically been in a very good position. But we're almost set. We've got both our snares. We've got money for snares. We've got money for feints. We've got a feint in our hand. We've all got questers. So we should be able to do this. The question is, can we do it in time? It's 20 to pass the next stage. We won't be able to keep Gandalf up. So we have to deal, we basically don't want to quest with this guy this turn. Or actually we can, because we've got this thing here. So let me just quickly go through my hands. Yep. Okay, so I've got 2, so I can definitely put out another quester. That makes up for Bilbo. In fact, I don't even know to not use Bilbo because I've got these cards here. Goblin Cleaver. So we'll definitely spend 1 off here and put out another vassal. And we can spend 1 off here and put out another, this guy here, Erebor, Record Keeper. So we now actually have 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do, instead of putting out the vassal, I'm going to put out a dwarf. It takes this guy to 1, but now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means Orin's ability triggers. You can now draw 2 cards a turn. Okay, so we're questing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, out comes the next card. It is this thing, we don't care about that. It's just going to say it's attacking, but we're going for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're questing, we only need 1 point to get to the next stage. We're questing for a massive amount, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is now cleared. So part 3 says, out jumped the goblins, big goblins, great ugly looking goblins, lots of goblins before you could say rocks and blocks. When revealed, shuffle all encounter cards back into the encounter deck and set it aside inactive. The second encounter deck becomes the active encounter deck. Search the encounter deck for the Great Goblin and add it to the staging area, then shuffle the encounter deck. So what that means is, as I was saying, we've now entered the caves. Everything is discarded. So this goes to this and this and this and this and this and that and this. That was all gone. And this becomes the new thing. So here's the Goblin, Great Goblin. That's really bad. After the Great Goblin attacks, discard X cards from the encounter deck, where X is the number of players in the game. Add each Goblin enemy discarded by this effect to the staging area. And we need to kill him to win, remember? So I'll just grab this. I'll just give it a couple of swipes just to even it out and show that it's not dodge. Okay, and then I'll just put this over here so I don't reach across the table. I'll put this here so it's out of the way. And we draw one card. Oh wait, I should probably read the second bit of the quest for you, right? Players cannot defeat this stage unless the Great Goblin is in the victory display and it's 20 to pass. When revealed, reveal 3 encounter cards per player. Bilbo may spend X resources to reduce the total number of encounter cards revealed by X to a minimum of 1. If the players defeat the stage, they have won the game. We spent 2 resources off Bilbo, so we only have to reveal 1. But this guy did come out, which has Surge. So out comes another one. Okay, so that is a 3 to pass. And this says, cave. While the Goblin Caves is the active location, Goblin enemies get +1 threat. That shouldn't worry us too much. Okay, so we are going to travel to this location. Both these guys attack us. Okay, they get encounter cards. So I'm going to cast the Goblin Cleaver, exhaust a weapon card attached to a hero you control to choose an enemy engaged with you. Deal 2 damage to that enemy, deal 3 damage if it's an orc. This guy's got 2 health, so we cast that, we tap this card here, so this is destroyed, takes the shadow card with it. We're then going to spend 1 resource from Thalen, and we're going to use our other feint. Where is our other feint? Didn't we have 2 feints? I thought we had that's my draw deck. I thought I had another feint. Wait, that's Horn of Gondor. Didn't I throw that out? Oh man, I think... Oh no, there's Horn of Gondor. No, that's the ones Oh, I thought I had a feint card, so that was stupid. Okay, whatever. The point is we'll tap with this guy, reveal this card, nothing. He attacks for 5, he's defending at 4, he gets 1 damage. But we have to reveal a card from the encounter deck. It is not a goblin, so it's discarded because of his ability. Okay, so that could have been a lot worse. Okay, so that's the end of that. Let's reset. So this goes to 4. I'm actually going to discard him. So this guy says, at the end of the refresh phase, discard Gandalf from play. You may raise your threat by 2 to cancel this effect. So we'll just discard him. Okay, so this guy gets 1, goes to 4. This guy gets 2. This guy gets 1. I think I screwed up somewhere. I could have sworn I had a feint in my hand. Whatever, the point is, we now draw 2 cards because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1, 2. I'm going to spend 3 resources from him, and we're going to snare the goblin so he no longer attacks. We have basically nothing. I'll spend 1 off you, put out another Hemmermarth. And we're questing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think I put this up, so that goes up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out comes a goblin. Okay, boom. It gets 1 damage. It is 2 threat, but it's +1, so it's 3 threat because of this card. So again, so that is, we'll just minus that, 2, 4, 6, 7. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 4 questing power on here. This guy attacks. We have 2 shadow cards. This one is automatically discarded. And then I am going to block with this guy. Flip this over. Attacking enemy gets +1, so he's attacking for 2. He is defending at 1. He's got 2 health, so that gets 1 damage. He's got 2 defense, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We only need 1 damage, so he is killed. And now I'm going to tap you and just see what's next. Okay, so this guy here is the goblin with the bent swords. He has 3 health. Okay, so this goes to 1. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 5. Oh, so basically when that gets to 5, we're game over. So it's actually still pretty tight. So that's 1. This is 3. This is 2. This is 2. We're going to draw 2 cards. Okay, so I'm going to spend 2. Put out the Gondorian Spearman. That'll deal with any 2 drops. I'm going to spend 1 and put out Expecting Mischief. This card says during the quest phase before the staging step, deal 2 damage to the first enemy drawn. And we're in a rush, so I think I'm going to do Stand and Fight. And I'm going to pull out a Quester. We're questing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to go 13 because we've just got to go as quickly as possible. And we don't need her, so that's 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This card comes out. It's got 3 health. It gets 1 hit from Thalen. It gets 2 hits from this guy, so it is killed instantly. And we have 13 with nothing to stop it. So that's 10. And this goes to 10. So we're going to pull this off, I think. This card comes out, it's automatically discarded. And that's the next turn. So this goes to 2. This goes to 3. This goes to 2. This goes to 1. This goes to 3. And it's the next turn. So this time I'm going to tap him, see what's next. Okay, this says when revealed, starting with the first player, each player chooses 1 goblin enemy from the discard pile and adds it to the staging area. This isn't really an issue for us. So I'm going to let that ride. And we've got 3 lore. Do we have any lore cards I can use? Well, I may as well spend 1. Takes it to 2, put out another dwarf. Did I draw 2 cards? I can't remember, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we know there's nothing going to be in the staging area. We only need 5 to pass. So 2, 4, 6 is all we need. Yep, 2, 4, 6 is all we need. So anything with attack power. Yep, we've got this thing. So let's go to 1 and let's go to 0. So we're putting out 2 birds. It's not a lot of space when you're when you're playing on camera because you've got to fix everything in. Okay, so this thing. Oh wait, hang on. Wait, I'm almost screwed up badly then, because we're going to bring a card out from the discard pile. We'll bring out this card here, Goblin Axeman, which is 2. So we need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now what's interesting about this card is that it says choose 1 goblin enemy from the discard pile and add it to the staging area. That means Thalen's effect does not work on him. That's why he's not tapped. Okay, so we're questing for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out comes this card. We bring this from the discard pile. There's 2 in the staging area, which means we place 5 here, which means we've got 20. That is passed. But remember, we have to kill the Goblin King before we can pass. So this guy attacks us. He gets 1. He gets 1. I'm going to tap with Bilbo just to show you this cool ability. So basically the sting says, after Bilbo Baggins exhausts to defend, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Deal damage to the attacking enemy equal to the discarded card's threat. So we just reveal the next card. The threat is 1. That's really annoying. So he gets 1 damage. Usually, almost always, that'll do 2 damage or more. It's very rare. And usually, they've got 1 damage from Thalen. So pretty much that always is a way of killing a goblin for free every turn. Okay, this is revealed. It says, defending player deals damage among characters he controls equal to the number of goblin enemies with him. So he's attacking for 1. So we can't split that. So I'm just putting the 1 damage on him. So if that was like 2 damage, because there's 2 monsters, I'd have to do damage 2 different characters. Anyway, regardless, he doesn't get any damage because he is one shield, plus he's got a shield from here, plus he's got a shield from Eowyn. So he's actually 3 shield. Nothing happens. This guy just gets discarded. Now we just need to work out how we're going to clear the board in the most efficient way. For starters, we need 8, 9, 10 to kill him. So there's 6 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That kills this guy. He only needs 8, 9, 10 to kill because 8 plus 2. So he is into a victory display. And to finish off, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 damage. We only need 3 to kill this guy. So he's also killed. And we have cleared the board. There's this guy as well. So that's another 2. And that's it. The entire board's cleared. We have done 20 and we managed to pull that out. We had a terrible draw. We had a bad mulligan and we had a really slow start getting the overhanging rock. So it was the deck really was pushed. Normally it goes a lot smoother than that, but I actually kind of like that was a good round. Anyway, so the point is 20 on here, plus we have the Great Goblin victory display, which means that is that, baby. Game over. I think I screwed up somewhere because I was sure I had a feint in hand. But as you can see, the Goblin phase in single player is really easy, but it's like reversed when you play multiple hands. Because in multiple hands, you can draw like so many cards. Like, so say you're drawing 2 cards every turn. Some of them have surge, so you can be drawing like 4 cards a turn. Plus, every time the Goblin King attacks, you add 2 cards to the staging area. So it's much more intense the second phase. But when you're playing solo, it's the first phase that's more intense because you have that questing issue and those huge hill trolls to get past. But yeah, you can control the goblins very easy. Goblin Cleaver basically kills all of them. They're just 3 damage, which is enough to kill every single one. Plus you've got Expecting Mischief, plus Thalen kills every revealed goblin. Most of the goblins have 2 health, so Gondorian Spearman and Thalen will kill most of them. And Bilbo gets you a free kill pretty much every turn as well. So there's a lot of ways to control the goblins. And you just, because in solo play, because you're getting so few goblins, the second phase is pretty trivial. And that's that. I'll see you guys for the final quest in the Hobbit Saga. And I'm pretty sure that's the riddle one where we have to get the ring off Gollum. Catch you next time.